Bill Walton stood for not just the game for itself. He stood for the voice of the game. I don't know if anybody has checked out, especially in the late 90s, Bill Walton was there at the NBA Finals. He was the voice a lot. Everybody keeps talking about, Marv Albert. I mean, Bill Walton was there a lot. He was very much the voice of the NBA for many, many years. His son coached the Lakers. And to me, everything that he is and what he stood for as a retired player and as an NBA player shows people why people respected him for all those years. Kobe Bryant, the late, great Kobe Bryant, spoke highly of Bill Walton for many, many years, saying that Bill helped me translate to the NBA. When I sat down with Bill, Bill gave me so much information to understand the game of basketball, not just in an athletic way, but in a professional teaching way. And what really, you look at Bill Walton, you look at the type of player he was nothing compared to what he was as a professional, as a college player, as a professional, because the guy could not stay healthy. He could never stay healthy. He had back problems, and his back practically cut his career short. He was cut short for really 4 years into his career. He had 3 really good years, 2 really good years in the NBA. And then the rest of his career was really, really short because he couldn't play. He couldn't be the player that he wanted to be, where he came from when he was playing college ball. He was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers as the number 1 overall pick in 1974, won 2 NBA championships, one with the Trail Blazers in 1977, and 1986 with the Celtics, which, by the way, he was a bench player. He wasn't a star player. Bill Walton was like the 7th or 8th guy off the bench.
Yeah, and McHale and Parrish on that team. He wasn't going to start.
McHale, Parrish. I mean, obviously, Larry Bird. You had Danny Ainge on that team. Yep. I mean, that was a really, really good team and a lot of depth. That was when the Celtics were at the high point of their existence. And really in the 80s, I thought, besides the Lakers, and I really thought the most dominant team in the 80s were the Celtics. And that's just my opinion. And I thought the most dominant team in the 70s was the Lakers.
Right.
But Bill Walton, who was such a good person, he really was. I met Bill Walton years and years ago at Madison Square Garden. He was actually there he was a commentator. He was there to commentate, but he signed a lot of autographs. After the game, he was outside signing a bunch of Knick fans, jerseys. That he was signing New York Knick memorabilia, and he wasn't even a Knick. But that's how good and nice Bill Walton was. He was a very special person, and everybody in the NBA loved him. Everybody. And when his passing came out, and he's 71 years old, 71 years young, he had a long life to go. Look at all these other players that have lived to the 80s. Bill Russell lived, I think, to 83.
Right.
Oscar Robertson is still alive. I think he's like 78, 79 years old. When you look at Bill Walton, he didn't have much of a life. And to me, you have to celebrate not only what he did for basketball and what he did for the game as a voice, but what he did for college basketball and growing college basketball for what it is today and what it was then.